everyone. I am Precious Watkins, and I am here to deliver the ultimate speech on school uniforms. School uniforms do indeed prevent and reduce negativity in the school systems, but wearing casual clothing brings happiness to the school systems as well. So, are school uniforms ultimately better or worse for students? That will be a question for you to decide on. The enforcement and use of school uniforms brings a lot of positivity for the school systems. School uniforms do indeed prevent less fights. Now, for one thing, uniforms allow the students to be seen as equal. For another thing, students don't need to be jealous over another student's clothing. Also, to add, uniforms may also help with decreasing bullying. According to a study with Nevada Today, they believe that uniforms have a 25 to 30% positive influence on the student population. Schools' uniforms prevent violence and gang activity as well. Because a school has uniforms in place, it's easy to point out who isn't supposed to be there during a state of emergency or a drill. The uniforms also make sure no gang affiliation is promoted, and that way the school doesn't have to worry about violence and bad reputations for that school. Also, although uniforms are a great advantage for the school, casual clothing also brings a great advantage to the school as well. Casual clothing does indeed brings a lot of positivity for the school. Casual wear gives the students comfort. School uniforms can be itchy and uncomfortable, while casual clothing is very comfortable and very satisfying. Casual clothing also gives the students happiness. Because students aren't in those tight, boring clothes, they're allowed to express themselves. They're also allowed to express their culture and nationality as well. I remember those days I was able to wear my own clothes during our designated dress down days. I remember being so happy I didn't have to wear those blue polos with those brown khakis. Even though casual clothing gives a sense of identity, it does bring its negative impacts as well. And we also have to be very considerate of those things. Now, casual clothing brings quite a few concerns to the school system. Casual wear may increase bullying. In some instances, students aren't able to buy new clothing each year. Sometimes it's not obvious, but when that student outgrows their clothes, it's very noticeable that he or she may not be able to afford new clothes, and it may result into bullying by others. According to the Constitutional Rights Foundation website, 7% of 8th graders stay at home at least once a year to avoid bullying. Not only does casual wear increase bullying, but it does lose a sense of identity as well. Students may be worried more about what they're wearing at school and less on academics. Even though casual clothing may bring freedom of expression, it is a barrier to academics. Let's say, for instance, there's a student that's jealous in the class and that's sad about not having a particular hoodie another student has. That's too much of a distraction for that student. Instead of doing his or her work, they may be focused more on outer appearances instead of academics. That's a case where uniforms would have avoided that problem. Also to add, school uniforms bring a few concerns as well. School uniforms require a lot of out-of-pocket expenses each year, especially if your student grows. Now, uniforms can cost roughly from $200 to $500 a year per student, and that's with barely having 3 to 5 different shirts and pants. Students also may raise a concerning cause, but with religious beliefs as well. When school uniforms mandate uniforms, they take away religious freedoms from students. Personally, I've seen friends that were Muslims still be able to wear the hijab, which is their headpiece, but not wear the rest of their religious clothing. And instead, they wear the uniform. In the end, casual clothing can be a barrier, but a good thing as well. Now, as I come to an end, thank you. It is now up to you to realize what is better, uniforms or casual clothing. Thank you.